Hi, good evening, everybody. Tonight we have a guest from the University of El Salvador to talk with us about some controversial subject. And we have some questions for you, Mr. Alvaro Alas. And let's let's start because we don't have that much time. So let's start with the first question. Can you tell us what is language acquisition in the first place? In the first place, I am a student from the National University of El Salvador in language teaching is my career, and we are right now studying a little about this subject, language. So, in the first place, let's say, according to expertise, language acquisition is the process uh, of gaining language, if we can say it that way. We gain language knowledge naturally, while language learning is the process of actively trying to learn and understand the language. That's the difference between the both of them. One is natural process and the other is, I say, conscious. It's that you are intentionally doing something to learn. And the next question for you is, which are the stages in children? So when we talk about language acquisition, we are talking about usually with something that we do by immersion and exposure, and it's called input, while language learning involves formal instruction and grammar rules. But basically, both are ways to learn a language. So let's see what experts suggest. Language acquisition is more effective and natural than language learning, especially for children. However, language learning doesn't depend on the age, definitely. You can learn at any age, and can be done by anyone who is motivated and interested in studying a language. Following this subject, I want to share with you some personal experience I had as when I used to live in California. I went to school at night for ESL system, learning system. So when we get to third grade or third year, there was two classrooms. On one classroom, there was this white lady. She was probably in her 40s. She was married with a Mexican pilot, and he was working at Mexican Airlines. I remember, but all the group used to talk about soap operas, Mexican soap operas or Venezuelan or soap operas in Spanish. That was their time inside the classroom. On the other side, the other classroom, there was this very old teacher. She was so sweet. She was very, very nice. But she couldn't speak Spanish, or I don't know if she ever said any word in Spanish. So we learned to communicate to each other because there were people from Vietnam, Russia, from all over Europe or anywhere else but any other Latin uh, people there. So it was so deep that that time of learning that it probably lasts about 6 or 7 months. That at the end, I don't know why I mentioned word in Spanish at the end, and everybody wondered and said, "Hey, so you can speak Spanish?" So that was we were speaking before about input. It's really important the way you are exposed to the language. and not just expose it. You have to admit it and immerse yourself in that learning. Now, to be more specific about stages in children, well, this is something that it has a lot of studies and experiments and observation, and it's really very sharp defined. The first stage is cooing, when the little babies start doing the first sounds, but with sense. Then it starts babbling, maybe connecting to sounds, only sounds. And the one is called holoplastic, or one unit or one word expression. That is when you start listening that so exciting word, dad or mom, that you have been waiting for. Also, they can start saying eat or mom, milk. Then it comes the two word stage, or they start connecting the two words and says baby share, baby cry, baby hungry, something like that. And mommy eat, for example. Then it comes telegraphic stage, or telegraphic speech, where they connect more than two words, but no in order necessary. They can put first one word and mix them, or put the first word and the end of the expression they are trying to express or transmit. But this is the very hard stage where definitely parents have to play a very important role. Well, from the beginning, it depends. If you don't start talking to them the way they are talking, they will go very slow to the next step. Because if they start doing blah blah blah, and then you start answering to them the same way, they won't make that difference. Okay. And at the end, we have the last one. What are the theories about the subject, or about the language acquisition? There is only one theory, or is there any other? Okay. For the last one, that question, there are a lot of theories. They are kept in three big groups, and there is in the first place the empiricist. Then we have the Krashen, and we have the nativists, where they say that we are born with the genes for our language acquisition or learning. But all of them are involved with the same process. It means process by which humans acquire the ability to comprehend and produce language that we are doing right now with you. It's an input and output. So, because we never stop learning, so it doesn't matter how old are you, how old I am. As long as I receive or I got some input, I will have a better output or more comprehensible output. Well, that's it for tonight for me. And maybe in the future we can speak a little bit about the three groups of theories that I mentioned: empiricists, Russian, and nativists. Good night. Okay. And we don't have anything else to say, so thanks a lot. Thank you very much for being with us, and I hope everybody has enjoyed this program, this tonight program. See you soon. Bye bye. Take care of yourselves.